U.S. oil giant ExxonMobil on Wednesday, February 6, confirmed it had made two more oil discoveries offshore Guyana at Tilapia 1 and Haimara 1 wells, bringing the total number of discoveries in the Stabroek Block to 12 in 3 years. The discoveries at Tilapia 1 and Haimara 1 builds on the previously announced estimated recoverable resource of more than 5 billion oil equivalent barrels in the Stabroek Block. Oil giant ExxonMobil has made 9 major oil finds in Guyana's waters, the most recent being Hammerhead 1. On this edition of InfoHub In Depth, we take a look at the extraordinary oil discoveries made by ExxonMobil in the Stabroek Block and how each new find has pushed Guyana above industry standards.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, and the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.
Guyana has a history of petroleum exploration. In 1916, 3 exploration wells were in the Winey area of the Northwest District by Nelson Cannon. Gas and pitch were recorded in one of those wells. In 1926, a well was drilled on the west coast of Berbice at the Bat Sugar Estate. The gas recovered there was utilized for decades at that location for domestic purposes.
In the 1950s, there was a flurry of requests to search and drill for oil in offshore Guyana, but all efforts to locate oil were either unsuccessful or stalled.
The search for oil returned in 1981 when the then government announced plans to establish a National Petroleum Corporation to supervise oil exploration and development. But with sugar standing out as the standard bearer for the Guyanese economy, then bauxite that came later, the enthusiasm for the search for oil was not there.
A decades-long search for oil offshore Guyana would finally yield success with ExxonMobil Corporation reporting a significant oil discovery in 2015.
ExxonMobil initiated their oil and gas exploration in Guyana in 2008 in the Stabroek Block, which is located 193 kilometers offshore. They made their first major announcement of oil discovery at Liza 1 in May 2015. ExxonMobil press release explained. The well was spud on March 5, 2015. The well is first on 6.6 million acre Stabroek Block and drilled to 17,825 feet. The well encounters more than 295 feet of high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoirs.
The well data was analyzed in the preceding months to better determine the full resource potential. ExxonMobil later announced to the public that 450 million barrels of oil is expected to be produced from this Liza 1. However, soon the drilling of another well confirmed that Guyana's oil reserve is even larger than believed.
In June 2016, ExxonMobil stated that drilling resulted in the Liza 2 well. The second exploration well in the Stabroek Block confirmed a world-class discovery with a recoverable resource of between 800 million and 1.4 billion oil equivalent barrels. Less than 6 months after the second major oil announcement, Exxon moved its Stena Carron drill ship to test Payara, the third prospect of the Stabroek Block. In January 2017, the oil giant announced that high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoirs were found at Payara 1. It was reported that the company encountered more than 295 feet of high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoirs, which was safely drilled to 17,825 feet in 5,719 feet of water.
These three developments meant that the country would be producing more than 500,000 barrels of oil per day, moving Guyana well ahead of industry average.
Drilling of the Snook well, Exxon's fourth well, commenced on February 22, 2017, where 82 feet of high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoirs were encountered. The Snook well is located in the southern portion of the Stabroek Block, approximately 5 miles to the southeast of the Liza-1 discovery. Country manager of ExxonMobil, Rod Henson, later disclosed that the find represents only a fraction of the Liza field.
No, Liza-1 was the discovery well, and since then we've drilled Liza-2, Liza-3, and Liza-4, which helped us appraise and understand the size of the accumulation, the size of the field. So then phase 1, we will drill, it's going to include 17 wells actually, and it will help develop part, not all, but part of the Liza field.
In October 2017, ExxonMobil announced its fifth major oil find in the Stabroek Block at the Turbo well. Esso Exploration and Production Company Limited, an affiliate of ExxonMobil, announced drilling at the Turbo 1 well on August 14, 2017. On September 29, 2017, a reservoir of 75 feet of high-quality oil-bearing sandstone in the primary objective was encountered. The fifth well is located in the southeastern portion of the Stabroek Block, approximately 30 to the southeast of the Liza Phase 1.
The Ranger 1 well, the sixth oil find, was announced in January 2018, adding to the discoveries at Liza, Payara, Snook, Liza Deep, and Turbo, which were estimated to total more than 3.2 billion recoverable oil equivalent barrels.
Drilling began in November 2017, and the well was sunk to a depth of 21,161 feet in 8,973 feet of water, with 230 feet of high-quality oil-bearing carbonate reservoir was encountered. Minister of Natural Resources Raffle Trotman described this sixth find as a most historic discovery for Ghana. He added that Ghana can expect immense transformational development in the coming years. Minister Trotman also expressed confidence that the country is on the right path and assured that the government remains focused towards achieving first oil and beyond in the most efficient manner. Following completion of the Ranger 1 well exploration, the Stena Current drill ship made its way to the Pakora prospect, located 4 miles from the Pyre discovery, where it began drilling on January 29, 2018, just days after major oil was announced at the Ranger 1 well. Pakora, Ghana's seventh oil discovery offshore, was announced 1 month after drilling exploration commenced. The well, which was drilled to 18,363 feet depth in 6,781 feet, recorded a high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoir of 65 feet. Following this major discovery, the government of Ghana announced that a Department of Energy will be established to focus solely on the development of the petroleum sector. In August 2018, Dr. Mark Bino was appointed head of the Department of Energy, with Matthew Wilkes being appointed oil and gas advisor.
Daddy! 2018 proved to be an extraordinary year for oil exploration in Guyana's waters, as ExxonMobil would go on to announce 3 more oil finds before the end of the year.
On June 20, 2018, ExxonMobil announced that it had struck oil for the 8th time at the Longtail 1 exploration well, some 5 miles west of the Turbo 1 well. Country manager of ExxonMobil, Rod Henson, explained the significance of this discovery.
It says this is in the southeast part of the block. It's very close to our recent Turbo discovery as well. So it simply adds to the potential for a development in another area outside the Liza area.
That very day, ExxonMobil announced that it will be continuing exploration 9 miles south of the Liza 1 at Hammerhead 1. Henson explained that the company will be doing further exploration in the fields to determine their resource worth.
Yeah, so we've had 8 discoveries so far, and in many of those discoveries, we've only had 1 well in some of these fields, like Ranger, like Longtail, snook or whatnot. And so we really need to learn more about either drill more wells or have more time to evaluate to narrow the range of resource recoverable in each individual field. But because we know there's a lot of interest, we really wanted to get some more data out there. So based on what we know today, we're comfortable to say that it's at least 4 billion barrels if you look at the whole thing total.
Henson added that the company remains bullish on exploration as the recoverable resources in the Stabroek Block increases.
We're quite bullish to continue exploring, to work with the government to evaluate this resource, and that's why we're confident enough to bring in a second exploration drill ship.
2 months later, on August 30, Exxon announced its ninth discovery of approximately 197 feet of high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoir was announced.
President of ExxonMobil Steve Greenlee stated the ninth major discovery reinforces the potential of the Ghana Basin, where he noted ExxonMobil is already maximizing value for all stakeholders through rapid phase developments and accelerated exploration plans. The U.S. oil giant announced its 10th discovery offshore Ghana on December 3, 2018. The discovery was made at the Pluma 1 well, increasing the estimated recoverable resource for the Stabroek Block to more than 5 billion oil equivalent barrels. Director of the Department of Energy, Dr. Mark Bino, said this could see Ghana being able to produce more than 750,000 barrels of oil daily by 2025. He also said the recent discovery places Ghana in the position to forge ahead as a petro-development state.
The 11th and 12th Tilapia 1 and Haimara 1 well discoveries come in the Turbo area of the Stabroek Block.
The new discoveries are the first since ExxonMobil abruptly halted some of its seismic data gathering activities offshore in late December when a contracted vessel fled after being confronted by the Venezuelan Navy. At the time, Exxon insisted the naval incident would not stall its exploration and drilling activities. The two additional discoveries were made at the Tilapia 1 and the Haimara 1 wells. The Tilapia 1 discovery encountered approximately 93 meters of high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoir and was drilled to a depth of 5,800 meters in about 2,000 meters of water. The well is located approximately 5.5 kilometers west of the Longtail 1 well. The Haimara 1 well is located approximately 31 kilometers east of the Pluma 1 discovery. It encountered about 63 meters of high-quality gas condensed bearing sandstone reservoir. The well was drilled to a depth of about 5,600 meters in nearly 1,400 meters of water. At the recent Oil and Gas Forum, the Energy Director, Dr. Bino, pointed out that the pace of Ghana's oil and gas production is the fastest that has ever been done to date.
There are no alternative facts. There is only the fact and the truth. And what we have seen from the time of exploration to the time of production is the fastest it has ever been in the industry worldwide. So Guyana is taking 5 years from exploration to production, which has never happened before. What does that tell us? We have to be turbocharging. We have to be enhancing our efforts even greater. We do not have the luxury of time on our side.
This was seconded by Oil and Gas Advisor to the Energy Department, Matthew Wilkes.
The pace of development in Ghana is incredibly fast. And I know there's a lot of frustration about opportunities coming forward, but as Mark says, the pace of exploration, discoveries and moving forward into production is unprecedented worldwide. So everyone is in a catch-up mode.
The successes of U.S. oil giant ExxonMobil in oil exploration here in Guyana has positioned the country to possibly surpass oil production in Mexico and Venezuela, according to oil and gas analyst Wood Mackenzie.
Online oil and gas publication Oil Now recently reported that Mackenzie has predicted that Ghana could surpass two oil-producing nations, Mexico and Venezuela, putting Ghana on the path to becoming a Latin American powerhouse. According to Oil Now, the Liza complex is now on track to produce 1 million barrels per day and compares to Brazil's Lula Ercima, one of the world's largest deepwater finds. According to senior analyst at Rystad Energy, analyst Sonia Budu, Guyana's total take from oil production could reach as much as US $100 billion.
If we sum all those revenues, all the government take, so all the royalties and all the profit oil, from that activity under a $70 per barrel oil price, we see that total government income from Guyana upstream activity could be in the region of $100 billion US dollars. If we look at that under a $90 per barrel oil price, we expect to see it reaching up to $160 per barrel. $160 billion. And if we look at it under a low oil price scenario, say around $50 per barrel, we expect $50 billion to go to the government over the entire lifespan of these fields if they are all sanctioned.
Budu added there is quite significant wealth to be had from Guyana's oil production. As a frontier country, the government's take ranks 59 out of 80% when compared to other regions with similar states of maturity.
And what we see here is that within this frontier region bucket, we see the average government take here being between 45 and 70%, and Guyana falling at 59% is quite average in that respect.
Liza 1, Liza Deep, Payara, Snook, Turbo, Ranger, Pecora, Longtail, Hammerhead, Pluma, Tilapia, and Haimara are the 12 Exxon oil finds in Guyana's waters to date. Oil production from these wells are expected to yield significant revenue that can create a large number of jobs in the manufacturing of value-added agricultural products and the development of its physical infrastructure, while at the same time delivering quality education for a diverse economy. You have been watching another edition of InfoHub In Depth. Thanks for watching.